Welcome to the video. First, we will reframe shared living in your 40s as a financially smart, goal-accelerating move in high cost of living areas. Then, we will break down the numbers, challenge outdated milestones, and show you how to execute this strategy safely and strategically. Finally, we will wrap up with a quiz and key takeaways you can use immediately. Next, here is our roadmap. We will start with the context of high cost of living realities. After that, we will run the money math to show how shared living can triple your savings. Then, we will challenge the milestone myth that living alone equals success. Following that, we will walk through execution steps and risk management. We will include a quick quiz and then finish with key takeaways and next steps. To begin, let's ground ourselves in the housing reality of high cost of living areas. When studios cost $2,000 or more and home prices begin around $800,000, traditional milestones no longer fit. Therefore, we need to adjust strategies. Shared living immediately rebalances cash flow so that you can pay down debt, build emergency reserves, fund meaningful experiences, and save towards a down payment much faster. Now, let's quantify the difference. Consider a high cost of living studio at $2,000 per month compared to a shared arrangement at roughly $1,000 per person. At a typical budget, living alone might leave you with about $700 of savings, while moving to a shared space can raise that number to $1,500 or more. Consequently, your savings rate doubles or even triples, which means financial goals like debt payoff and down payment accumulation arrive much sooner. Next, here is a sample budget comparison. With rent at $2,000 when living alone and $1,000 with a roommate, utilities and internet might decrease from $200 to $120 per person due to shared plans. Groceries and transportation often remain similar. Discretionary spending can stay steady or slightly lower due to shared resources. The total spend declines from about $3,300 to about $2,200, and potential savings increase from $700 to about $1,500. Then, let's address the milestone myth. Living alone after 30 is not a requirement of adulthood. It is a luxury, and it comes with a significant price tag in high-cost markets. External judgments do not define your internal success metrics. True wealth maturity focuses on optimizing cash flow and compounding rather than appearances. To visualize this, the pie chart compares $700 in monthly savings when living alone to $1,500 with a roommate. The larger slice represents the shared living scenario. That extra surplus enables faster debt payoff, more robust emergency funds, and the ability to plan meaningful travel without delaying core financial goals. After that, let's compare living solo to living with roommates. On the left, you have maximum privacy and full control, but higher fixed costs and a slower savings rate. Loneliness can also be a factor. On the right, shared living reduces fixed costs, accelerates savings, and can offer social benefits. However, it requires coordination, clarity on responsibilities, and well-defined boundaries to function smoothly. Next, here is how to execute effectively. Start with a month-to-month arrangement to preserve flexibility. Screen for compatibility on lifestyle, cleanliness standards, quiet hours, and guest policies. Align on money details including rent split, utilities responsibility, household basics, and deposits. Establish house rules for chores, shared items, noise expectations, and conflict resolution. Finally, be especially careful with coworkers to preserve professional boundaries and avoid spillover issues at work. Then, follow these steps to find roommates. First, define your non-negotiables and your deal breakers. Second, set a budget range and identify target neighborhoods. Third, use trusted platforms and referrals, and verify identities. Fourth, conduct background and credit checks with consent. Fifth, meet in person or via video and tour the space. Finally, document everything in writing and use a clear roommate agreement. Meanwhile, here are ready-to-use conversation scripts. The intro direct message expresses that you are optimizing for a major financial goal and asks if the other person is open to a conversation. The boundary script states a preference for quiet hours after 10 p.m. on weekdays, while offering flexibility on weekends and invites feedback. The money script proposes a simple rent and utilities split with a small shared stock of basics and a monthly reconciliation via a shared spreadsheet. Finally, use the checklist to confirm that you have a month-to-month term, agreed quiet hours, a cleaning rotation, documented utilities splits, and signed deposit and house rules. Next, this diagram places the roommate strategy at the center and shows 5 goal categories it accelerates: debt payoff, emergency fund, down payment, travel and experiences, and investing. Under debt payoff, it highlights using the snowball or avalanche methods and the benefit of lowering interest costs. Under emergency fund, it targets 3 to 6 months of expenses and a buffer for pet health. Under down payment, it emphasizes a larger principal contribution and the potential for better rates. Under travel and experiences, it calls out multi-week trips and skill-building retreats. Under investing, it notes index funds and tax-advantaged accounts. Then, the timeline shows the first 2 months dedicated to transitioning and setting up, including finding a roommate, finishing the agreement, and moving. Months 3 and 4 stabilize the budget and automate savings. Months 5 and 6 intensify debt payments. Months 7 and 8 focus on building the emergency fund to approximately 3 months of expenses. Months 9 and 10 prioritize the down payment fund through automated transfers. Months 11 and 12 are for evaluation and adjustment, which may include renewing, moving, or reassessing goals. After that, let's cover risk management. Prioritize safety by verifying identities, meeting in public initially, and trusting your instincts. Understand the legal context, including lease terms, subletting rules, and local regulations. Handle financial logistics, such as deposits, late fees, and shared accounts with clear records. Protect privacy with lockable storage, explicit guest policies, and agreed quiet hours. Finally, define a conflict plan with specific steps and timelines for escalation. Before we proceed to the quiz, here is an important disclaimer. This video is for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or housing advice. Please conduct your own research, consider local laws and lease terms, and consult qualified professionals when needed. Always prioritize safety and well-being when selecting living arrangements. Now for a quick knowledge check. The question is, in a high cost of living area, which strategy most reliably accelerates financial goals like debt payoff and down payment savings when you are in your 40s? Option A is waiting for a raise while maintaining a solo apartment. Option B is moving to a month-to-month shared rental with aligned roommates. Option C is cutting coffee and dining out only. Option D is taking on high-interest debt to invest more. You may pause the video now to think about the answer. We will discuss the answer in the next section of the video. The correct answer is option B. A month-to-month shared rental reduces fixed costs significantly, which reliably accelerates progress on debt, emergency funds, travel, and down payment goals. Waiting for a raise may help, but is uncertain and slow. Cutting small discretionary items alone is rarely enough. Taking on high-interest debt increases risk and cost. Next, here are the key points. High cost of living realities make solo living a costly luxury rather than a requirement. Shared living can double or triple savings and speed up major goals. A month-to-month term, compatibility screening, and clear house rules deliver flexibility and safety. Ignore outdated social milestones and optimize for your personal goals and timeline. Finally, document agreements and protect boundaries to maintain harmony. Finally, let's wrap up with next steps. First, run your own budget math this week and quantify your potential savings. Second, shortlist neighborhoods and define your must-haves. Third, draft a one-page roommate agreement and checklist. Fourth, pilot the strategy for 6 to 12 months and then reevaluate based on your updated goals and comfort. Before we close, thank you for watching. If this helped, please like the video, share it with someone considering a roommate, and subscribe for more strategies. Finally, share your thoughts and your best roommate tips in the comments so we can learn from each other.